even add a little bit to that. We've got to be vigilant in the most of ways. We have got to be diligent, and we've got to take interest in these Secretary of States, in these voting places. Look, I know there's enough patriots in this audience tonight. I know that maybe we can't cover every single voting poll, but a lot of you are in different parts of this country. You need to have a presence down there. Look, my people here in Tennessee, they're begging for volunteers. They're needing volunteers bad.
Right.
And if you can volunteer on election night, get down there to those polls and make sure this stuff is done right. Yep. And have your lawyer on speed dial. Have somebody on speed dial if it ain't being done right.
Right.
And report them, because that's the only way we're going to see it. Our eyes need to be on this election, folks. Unlike any election in the history of this country, I'm telling you. I've always said it. We caught the left by surprise in 2016 because the media had convinced them that Hillary was going to win by 30. So they didn't try this cheating stuff as much in 2016. They came back in force and did it in 2018. You saw what happened with the House. If you think what they did in 2018 was bad, you wait till we get to November the 3rd. They're already doing it. And it's going to be that on steroids. So it's going to require some diligence and some vigilant looking into what's going on at your local polling places. And I don't think that's too bad of advice, Mr. Taylor. How about you?
Nope, absolutely, 100%. And, look, I look at it this way. If we had complete and total control over the electoral and voter fraud right now,
he'd win 50 states.
I see he'd win 50 states right now.
I would.
All 50 states would be red at this point. Even California would be red right now at this point. The only reason California is blue, and the Democrats know this, is because of the electoral voter fraud. That's the only way they can hold on to it. And they know the minute that they lose California, they are finished.
They're toast.
They're toast. And this is why it's been an all-out assault, like I've been saying, on Texas and Florida, because they are the next two largest electoral college votes in the country.
Yep.
That's why we've been under assault all this time.
Well, and I think, too, you mentioned California. I think the Dems are scared because I was reading a news story the other day. They're actually campaigning. They're putting ads in California. Most they never do that because they've always taken for granted California is in their category. But they're literally running political ads for Biden in California. And that tells me a lot. That when you got a state that's been in your control for 30 years almost, and you're sitting there running ads in it, you're a little nervous. I think you're a little scared that maybe something's coming. That's just a thought.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, they're pulling out all the stops right now, the deep state is right now. They have nothing to lose at this point. They know that if on November 3rd, if they lose, they will be prosecuted or even worse at this point. They will be held accountable. If they win November 3rd, then they're off the hook.
They're off the hook, Mark.
They're off the hook, even though they're not going to win. But even they know, I think, that they are pretty much dead in the water at this point.
Yeah.
At this point. So, look, here's the other thing I want to say. There is literally right now panic on a level that's never been seen right now by the deep state because they know everything hinges on November 3rd. November 3rd is a prophetic timeline, Chris.
It is, Mark.
It is the prophetic timeline. And let me tell you what this timeline is. It's the release, I believe, of the spirit of the fear of the Lord on the earth, especially against God's enemies right now, who are going to come to justice. The spirit of the fear of the Lord will hit them the second they announce he has won the presidency. And it's at that point that you're going to see stuff released in the spirit, that the enemy's going to release everything he's got, or maybe even before then, who knows? He's going to release everything he's got because why? Because the spirit of the fear of the Lord is falling upon these guys, and that's going to be the manifestation of this.
Absolutely, Mark.
But they are going to be scared to death, literally. Yeah, and most people don't even understand what the spirit of the fear of the Lord is unless you've been in the presence of the spirit of the fear of the Lord. But the spirit of the fear of the Lord is already falling, I believe, on some of these people.
I do believe that too.
And so you are seeing the panic come out in demonic ways. Why else would they be manifesting like that? Because they're panicking. They're in fear.
Well, and two, I do believe you mentioned the fear of the Lord. I lost my train of thought here. But, Mark, I think, too, that they're very concerned. I know what I was going to say. The false flags. You know, you always warn us when these things sort of converge like this and these things start stirring up in the spirit realm, it's always wise to look for false flags. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 10 days, 5 days, that we didn't have a major event in this country related to violence. I wouldn't doubt it.
Well,
and I just looked at this kidnapping.
weather
event, something like that. And I just look at this Whittier thing and this attempted kidnapping of the Virginia governor. It's false flag, brother. It's to get our attention off what we need to have it on. That's just my.
And I've been warning about a hurricane coming in. We thought this was in Louisiana, but if you follow Mike Morales on his channel, he's a weather guru. He's predicting there's 2 systems out there right now. He's got technology that'll show you what's a fake cloud and what's man-made and what's a natural cloud. Right. And he said they're seeding these clouds now, and they're trying to stir up a Cat 5, is what he's saying, and Florida's the target. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. What was that guy's
I don't
name?
know.
What was that guy's name again?
Mike Morales.
Mike Morales. I'll have to check.
Mike Morales. And so, he's been pretty accurate on some of this stuff so far. He said the last hurricane that hit Louisiana apparently Florida was supposed to be the target, but they changed targets at the last minute on that one. So I don't know. But look, we're not out of the weather stuff yet. We still have 3 weeks before this election. So if we see something like this spinning up, we need to keep it in prayer. And, especially with the weather technology right now.
I'm glad you mentioned Louisiana, because I've had a lot of people ask me the question. We'll go ahead and discuss this a little bit, and then I got a story I want to run by you. The hurricane situation in Louisiana is interesting. 6 storms, 6 this year.
6.
Have tried to basically tear that state to pieces. That's a lot for one state.
Right. There's a reason why.
Tell us about what you found out about that. It's interesting.
I believe it's Amendment 1. Someone wrote me and told me this. This is not my revelation. This is what they recommended. They were spot on, whoever this person was. I'm not going to say their name. But they said because for the first time in U.S. history on a presidential ballot, Louisiana are voting on to become an abortion-free state. Now, why is that? Why are they targeting Louisiana? Because you're taking away Baal's food source. You're taking away the enemy's food source, which is sacrificing of kids, the blood of the innocent. Baal is a very violent entity. He's a strong man over America. He's second in command. He feeds off the blood of the innocent. This is what feeds these entities. So for Louisiana to come out and be voting on this, that sets the stage for other states to now come on board, and they know that.
Because there's one Amy Coney Barrett about to be put on that Supreme Court, brother, and all hell is breaking loose over her tonight.
Yes,
and the Dems did exactly what I thought they'd do today, is trash her character, trash her. This Hiroshio Homo, or whatever her name is, in Hawaii. I mean, literally saying something stupid like the word sexual preference is outdated and offensive. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's the kind of stuff. And then, White House, Sheldon, I don't know if he's Connecticut or what, he didn't even ask her any questions. He was up there doing a presentation, almost like a PowerPoint, on dark money in the GOP. And not one time asked Amy Coney Barrett a question. Not one time. And Chuck Schumer tonight, I gotta say this, because I got a message for Chucky boy. Chucky Schmucky. Listen to me, Chucky Schmucky. You can rant, you can rave, and you Democrats can beat your little pom-poms. You can pitch a fit like a petulant child, and you get out there and say that Amy Coney Barrett needs to commit herself to recusing herself from any decisions affecting the election. Hey, Chuck, it's the Monday Night Spiritual Smackdown. It's Tuesday night tonight, but come into that camera real quick. You see what I'm doing right here? You hold your nose on that one, okay? Because she ain't going to recuse herself, and there ain't going to be anybody that can stop her. You don't have no right to tell her to recuse herself from anything. It's not your call, Chuck. It's her call, and I don't think she's going to do it, Mark. She shouldn't do it. That's why we've put her on the court. I believe God's using this lady. I think God knows where this is going. And her presence on that court changes the dynamic, buddy. Because even if Roberts is a turncoat, let him vote now with the liberals. Guess what, neighbors? We still got 5-4. We still got 5-4. And they gave Trump a victory today that he wanted to cut the census count off early for a reason. Supreme Court said you got the right to do it, and they gave him the victory. And I just think that's a sign of things to come, brother.